I'm Sam, and welcome to the first of hopefully many new videos investigating different topics related to life, love, and God. I thought, what better way to start than to address the differences between a hopeless and a hopeful romantic. After all, I call myself a hopeful romantic. So I went out and interviewed 6 people on what they thought were the differences between being a hopeless and a hopeful romantic. And this is what I found.
When I think of hopeless romantic, I think of that emo person who's like forever alone, but like always watches the Hallmark Channel with a tub of ice cream and will read trashy romance novels and that kind of thing. Always thinking like, oh, if only I could find love. And like they have that emo like thing about them. And yeah, I think I mentioned Forever Alone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Forever Alone guy.
Hopeless romantic it can be very sympathetic. I just, for example, I like to read sad novels, because I can totally relate, and I went through that phase of heartbreaking and everything. I would say a hopeless relationship, romantic is more like ice cream with like a million calories in it and a Hallmark Channel. That one I can totally relate, and I can totally just really relax and feel like I'm not lonely. But at the same time, that is preparation for pursuing hope, so that I can be in a better phase to pursue hope as the next step.
So you're hopeless before you're hopeful?
Yeah.
Hopeless romantic is someone who's so depressed about not having love that they try to find it in other things that aren't real. Hopeless romantic just watches like bad like sitcoms or romance movies, and just their thoughts are just always like on not having something.
I would say a hopeless romantic is someone who doesn't really see their life changing at all, but they live in like this mindset of being romantic. Like I feel like a hopeless romantic would take any situation and like pull out what could potentially be romantic in it. Mm-hmm. Maybe just like it's almost like a worldview. Hopelessly romantic in your worldview, just your daily life.
Hi guys, my name's Noelle, and for a hopeless romantic or a hopeful romantic, I definitely can say that I've been both. Before Christ, I definitely was a hopeless romantic, always searching for guys and just feeling really down because like nobody ever really clicked, and so I was hopeless, and so I relied on romantic movies, obviously, to fill my time.
Hopeless romantic can't find that love, or is trying to find it, but is kind of blocked off by it. A hopeless romantic is afraid of that love, and they don't really want to experience what that would bring them. And that could mean a whole different things of, what happened in their past with a relationship, or just trying to make things right with somebody, but they can't really get the feelings out because they were hurt by that person or whatever.
That as human beings we cannot lose hope. Mm-hmm. And in general, and I know that hope will lead us to the place where we're meant to be, and that's the only way for happiness, I guess. So, yeah.
And then hopeful, obviously, is a little more optimistic, like this can happen. Trying not to worry about it, but just enjoying the process of, finding someone or not finding someone or being a matchmaker or whatever, but whatever they're doing, they're having fun at it. So they're not like, oh, forever alone. They're more like, yeah, maybe it'll happen someday, and like thinking positive and all that stuff. So it's pretty much the same thing minus like the Hallmark thing. Well, you can still watch the Hallmark Channel. There's nothing wrong with that.
Romantic, I would see as somebody who isn't going at it just like despite the situation, but they're going at it because they there's a goal in mind. Somebody who would see a situation regardless of how bad or good it is and know that it is going to work out. I guess that would be my take on a hopeful romantic.
But a hopeful romantic is one who is open to love or wants to have romance, and so they look for it where they can actually find it. A hopeful romantic is hopeful and sort of bubbly inside regarding romance.
A hopeful romantic is looking for that specific love. Hopeful romantic, I think, is more of a person who is ready to experience love in a way that they haven't, felt it before. Because love is a huge word, in my opinion. So I think a hopeful romantic is ready to experience that kind of love, where whether it be with somebody or not, but they just want to feel genuinely loved.
Nowadays, I am definitely a hopeful romantic, and I'm very hopeful because I put my hope in the Lord now, and that's different from how I was back then. And I don't know, I'm on a journey right now with the Lord, and I'm hopeful for whatever He has in store for me, whether that is a partner or being single, and I'm happy either way because God's my ultimate satisfaction.
So welcome back. I think I found it pretty interesting that everybody I interviewed had a somewhat different opinion on what a hopeless and a hopeful romantic are. But, there's some underlying similarities, like a hopeless romantic loves their rom-coms and get all depressed about love, and don't look for love in the right places, and their view of love is kind of warped. If they can't actually find love. But being hopeful, again, by putting hope in something that isn't a relationship, I put my hope in God. So, and I think that's definitely helped me to become a hopeful romantic. Because I know in my past it's definitely easy to get sucked in to that Hollywood romantic love. But for me, it'll happen. Maybe not in the way I expect. Definitely not like how the movies portray it. It's not like you have unrealistic expectations. And I think that's the big thing. The difference is your expectations. Are they realistic or not? So, I definitely have gone through periods where I'm one or the other, but most of the time, I'd say I'm definitely a hopeful romantic. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are on the differences between the two, and whether you identify as a hopeful or hopeless romantic, and put it down in the comments below. And I'd love to open up a discussion about that, as well as other topics you guys would like me to cover or interview under the underlying themes of life, love, and God. And I will hopefully see you soon. There'll be a new poem video up really soon. And yeah, so have an awesome day. Please subscribe to
Musings of a Hopeful Romantic!